aita for not telling my in-laws that my husband cheated and got someone else pregnant? My husband has this female friend that always made me uneasy. She would never respect boundaries, and when we first started dating, she told everyone I was with him for his money. My husband makes significantly more than I do, but he does not give me any money. We split the bills equally, and we both buy food. I take care of food for the baby and pay for all expenses of my oldest child who is not his. Over the past 7 years, I have experienced this lady spreading rumors and being disrespectful. I spoke to my husband about it, why said that's petty ladies' issues. He refused to set Sunday, and I had to set his friend straight a couple of times. Recently, the smear campaign by this woman started all over again when we bought a house. She told everyone that I didn't invest into our new home. So I have to confront her and set the record straight. She called him and told him I was rude to her, and he was upset. A week ago, he came home visibly stressed and anxious. I asked him if he was okay, and he told me we will talk when the kids went to bed. Later on that night, he told me that he had a moment of weakness and had sex with his friend, and now she is pregnant and he doesn't want to lose his family. I was so shocked and betrayed that I began to cry. He kept saying how sorry he was and how he doesn't want to lose his family. I didn't respond, but just went to my toddler's room and locked the door. The next morning, I called into work and got some time off. I took the kids and went to my father's house. I told him everything, and he was upset. My husband went home and didn't meet me there. He kept blowing up my phone, but I blocked him. This afternoon, his parents, showed up at my father's home begging me to go back home and end the petty disagreement. I was so upset I yelled to a fucking cheater who has a baby on the way. His parents were shocked and asked me to explain, and I did. His mother is visibly upset, and his father told me not to worry, he would handle everything. Since then, my husband has been using several numbers to contact me. He said I was wrong to tell his parents. Aita for telling my kids that their dad is a cheater? My 46F husband, 47M, and I have been in a dead bedroom for around 8 years. Our older two, 22M and 19F kids, are in college. The younger two are 15F and 9F. For context, I only told this to my adult kids. But to explain our dead bedroom, I do not have any cultural or religious hang-ups about sex. The dead bedroom isn't because I hate my husband or have some birth injury that needs to be checked out. However, we've been married for 23 years. In college, while I was by no means ugly, my husband was the big fish in the small pond. Athletic, and people said he would become a CEO. I pursued him much more than he pursued me, and it took a year for him to ask me out. The first 5 years were a honeymoon in every way possible. However, after we settled into marriage and had our first 2 kids, I realized the athletic and smart guy was just a human like everybody else, and that he had a lot of flaws. For example, he is very emotionally needy, and he would go on philosophical diatribes, especially when it came to sex. He would say, "I need sex. I need it to feel loved." And it would hurt because I was juggling 2 kids as a SH. And it seems like my contributions were all moot when he wants sex. He would do things like make dinner from scratch, buy flowers, or hint at planning something special for my birthday or our anniversary. But when he admitted he hoped the night ended in sex, I was turned off and told him I could take myself to a restaurant or mall then. By the time our 4th came along, we were having sex once every few months. After our 4th, I began becoming more assertive. I was angry that all the nice things my husband did were to get sex. So I told him the attraction is just not like it was, and forcing the topic was breaching the boundaries of my consent. The final straw was when he said, "Sex between spouses keeps families together." I was so hurt because all the years I gave up as a SAHM apparently did nothing to keep the family together. Instead, it is about how $100K a year job and how he says he takes care of himself, so why wasn't I attracted? Finally, over the last month, he started dropping hints that he wanted sex. In any way he could get it, apparently. Finally, during counseling last week, when I said I felt intermittent burst of attraction towards men in movies and books, he asked if I'd allow him to see an escort if I could pick her out. I was furious and walked out. My mood was apparent to my kids when I called them, and when they asked what was wrong, I told them their dad is a cheater. They became very upset and haven't been taking my husband's calls. My husband is furious, saying he didn't cheat. But the point is that he wanted to cheat. Tried to coerce me into letting him cheat. Also, there's no way he hasn't looked up escort agencies. So I just being honest with my adult kids about their dad. Aita, wife, cheated and had a child with him. Me and my wife had been married several years and had 3 children together. While in a rough patch in our marriage, she started partying and drinking at a friend of hers' house. She would get drunk and had spent the night over there on more than once. While at these parties, it would be her and her friend and then 10-15 guys. Well, one day while I was out of town with work, she went and got drunk and brought the guy back to our house to hang out. After a year and we had brought our now 4th child home, it came to light that she said that she had not remembered that happening, and after a DNA test it was shown the baby is not mine. What am I to do? Am I an asshole if I leave her? Update. I just got done with my divorce. I lost custody of my kids and have to pay child support for all the kids due to the state I'm in. It doesn't matter that the baby not mine. I signed the birth certificate, so that's all that matters. She got her car and my truck since her name was on it. I have found a camper and have moved in it. I have a good job that pays well, but with child support, 40% of my check is now going to her.